trying to use Alistair to achieve their victory and make it to the finals. It's time to duel. The semi-final match is underway, and we'll see which one of these two players will be advancing on to the finals of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Remote Duel Duel Links Invitational. Let's start our first game.
Both decks are pretty similar, with slight advantages in certain areas. Which do you think is the favorite to win here?
It's tough. They're both. I think whoever draws Alistair alongside trap. I mean, it sounds very simple. Like, oh, you drew Alistair alongside your trap cards. But whichever one's able to do that first and have a setup to disrupt their opponent's Alistair probably has the advantage. But here we go. It's underway. You see him using that World Championship Qualifiers Blue Eyes Ultimate mat versus no mat, which I can respect. And Rafael's going to start with Keeper Dragon Magic, discarding the Neos. I know that's one of your favorite plays.
You know it. Keeper Dragon Magic's effect activates, allowing him to special summon Neos back from the graveyard by revealing Grave Neos from his extra deck.
It's free. Neos Fusion coming down. Going to be able to fusion summon out an L0 Brave Neos. Ooh, he's going to send Alistair to his graveyard. So it's cool that you can use the Neos Fusion to dump an Alistair in your graveyard, so when you draw that invocation without an Alistair, you kind of get it online.
Yeah, Neos Fusion is a shockingly versatile card. There's so many cards that you want in the graveyard. So it's a simple card for summoning Brave Neos, but it does so much more, because it can also send cards like Bacon Saber, Volcanic Shell, Hyperoid, and whatever else you may want in the graveyard to the graveyard.
Yeah, certainly. We've seen cards like in the TCG, like Foolish Burial, be so dominant for so long, and all it does is send one card to the graveyard. So you have a card like Neos Fusion, which not only are you summoning a monster, you're also filling your graveyard with those effects, like you're saying. But here comes that raw invocation, so he's going to be able to banish the Alistair he's sent down, and add the Alistair back to his hand, and still have his normal summon.
This is really powerful. Oscar didn't have much of a play on his first turn, but the 3 cards he sent to his back row could be crucial for stopping this extraordinary string of plays that Rafael is undoubtedly going to have.
Alright, he's going to floodgate the Purgatrio. Not exactly the ones you don't want to floodgate monsters they could potentially fuse with later on, but you want to floodgate the Purgatrio so it doesn't attack over all your monsters for too much damage.
Yeah, for now, that's good enough. He needs to get that out of the way, even if he can't get it off the field, and Purgatrio is certainly out of the way right now.
Certainly agree. Let's see where he decides to add the shell to his hand. Doesn't quite have lost enough life to activate his dual skill switcheroo yet. And we see a normal summon Alistair that he just added back. He can search for invocation, so he's going to be able to fuse with that Purgatrio that was floodgated if he so chooses to.
He could do that, or he could use it with a Volcanic Shell to make a separate Purgatrio, but I think he's probably going to want to get rid of his face-down card since it's trapped there. But who knows, because it's also providing a little bit of defense by remaining on the field.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, those are definitely the questions you got to ask yourself. Is like, is the defense worth it? My field's kind of clogged, but it looks like you're right. He's going to stick with that defense and fuse with the shell. He's not going to be able to add back that Alistair, though, since he already used Invocation's effect this turn to add Alistair in another Floodgate Trap Hole. That's huge!
Oh, man. That hurts. But you only start with 3 monster card zones, so if 2 of them are locked by face-down monsters that can't be flipped, you're not in the best shape.
Yeah, but nothing to stop the Brave Neos attack, unfortunately, and the Brave Neos is going to be able to search for a copy of Neos Fusion, but with those 2 zones locked down, kind of rough. Oh, Fusion Reserve!
Not bad. He gets to reveal an Invoke Fusion monster from his extra deck that lists Alistair on it, and then add a copy of Alistair from his deck to his hand.
Yep, not too bad. It's tough to draw Alistair. You got to use every card you possibly can to make sure you get to him. He really is such a pivotal card, especially in an Alistair mirror match.
Use every card you can use to draw it. Use every skill you could use to draw it. Sorcerer's Conduit, Destiny Draw, Switcheroo. He's pretty really important.
It was one of those just powerful cards that just having it is able to get your whole deck and engine going. But he's going to turn the Element Saber Mulhu into a fire, summon the Alistair. Going to try and search for invocation here. Ash Blossom hasn't made her way over to Duel Links yet, so I think he's alright.
Yeah, The Element Sabers are awesome because they can change their attribute in the graveyard to whatever attribute you choose, and Invocation fuses monsters of specific attributes by using monsters of those attributes as fusion materials. So the synergy is incredible, and just like that, Oscar was able to fusion summon Invoke the Burger Trio, which is now able to attack everyone.
Right, it's going to come down to who has more Alistairs in their hand here. Whose fusion monsters are going to get the biggest?
Yeah, I think Oscar's Alistairs are more valuable, though, because every 1,000 attack points he gives Burger Trio applies 3 times.
Right.
Because it's attacking all monsters.
Yeah, the only thing that could go wrong is he attacks the first Burger Trio, he attacks the second Burger Trio, and then when he goes for the Brave Neos, his opponent has 2 copies of Alistair and is able to stop that attack, as opposed to only the 1 copy that he has for Oscar. But you would have to have...
Unfortunately for Raphael, the duel will be over before the Brave Neos gets attacked.
Yeah, he would have to have 3 Alistairs. Yeah, he would have to Alistair this to stay alive, and then double Alistair the Brave Neos on top of that. But we're seeing the Floodgates, why they're so strong in this deck. They put the monsters face down so Purgatrio can come out and just eat them, devour them, draws 1 trap card. It was not going to be enough because it's either going to get destroyed by Lila, the Galaxy Cyclone. It's really going to come down to how these players draw. But here we go for Game 2 of the semifinals of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Invitational. Oscar is up 1-0.
I'm looking at Oscar's deck list. It looks like he has a great build, actually, for this matchup. With 2 copies of Raigeki Break, 2 copies of Paleozoic Canadia, a Divine Wrath, and an Ultimate Providence, all of which can answer Madame Bear.
Alright, here comes Lila. In phase, mill 3.
He sends Witchcrafter Adel, Storm, and Witchcrafter Schmieda to the graveyard, but that is not the opening play you want to make. You want Madame Bear.
No Witchcrafter spells. Oh, here we go. Ancient Sage. This is what I'm talking about. Some fantastic Blue Eyes White Dragon action. This is the ideal opening.
That's the play. For those who don't know, Sage with Eyes of Blue has an effect that you can activate from your hand to send an effect monster on your field to the graveyard and then special summon a Blue Eyes from your deck. Whitestone of Ancients has an effect where if it was sent to the graveyard, during the end phase of that turn, you can just special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck.
Oh wow!
Alternate evolution skill. There's the beautiful prismatic Blue Eyes alternative White Dragon that we talked about earlier.
Yep, it's beautiful. And then the end phase of Stone of Ancients is going to summon a Dragon Spirit White from his deck. Probably going to banish that Yami from the field. Yep, here we go. Dragon Spirit White banish.
Start.
Yep, let's see.
Raphael does have Schmieda in his graveyard, so I think his second turn is going to be a lot stronger than his first.
Yeah, we'll just have to see if Oscar does have like one of those trap cards down. Oh, it's Holiday. I know that's going to be a start to turn off with the Galaxy Cyclone. I feel like you'd want to start off with the Galaxy Cyclone to be able to navigate this board, but if you don't have it, there's not much you can do about it. But Holiday can spell someone back. Let's see where he says you're going to use Adel's effect. Treat Adel to special summon a spell concentrator in his graveyard. He's going to target Lila. He's going to try and get rid of that back row because he knows that his Madame is vulnerable to trap cards.
Let's see if this pays off for him. It really matters what his follow-up play is.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to find a way to get Madame to the field and have the Witchcrafter spells in his hand. Raigeki Break it is. He's going to change to go ahead and destroy the Lila. Discards Stone of Ancients, so he'll be able to summon. Yeah, he's going to be able to summon that dragon during his end phase.
Good move for Raphael. Had he summoned Madame Vere without you summoning Lila with Adel's effect first, the Raigeki Break would have just destroyed it and he'd basically be out of the duel.
Yep.
Instead, he might be able to hide behind Madame Vere and survive.
Yeah, it's cool. Like the Witchcrafters have the toolbox kind of like where he's able to use Witchcrafter Holiday to bring back a Witchcrafter, but then use the Witchcrafter's effect to bring back the Lila. So it's kind of like the Holiday brought back Lila to pop a back row. Some cool stuff.
Raphael uses Witchcrafter Schmieda's effect, which he sent to the graveyard last turn, which allows him to send any Witchcrafter card from his deck to his graveyard, and he's taking Pator. Pator in the graveyard, he can banish to draw a card, and then send a Witchcrafter card from his hand to his graveyard. If he doesn't have one, he'd have to banish his hand, but that's obviously not happening. He discards Jenny, which can copy the holiday in the graveyard by banishing it. So if he wants to bring Adel back.
Let's see where he goes from here. Gonna special in defense mode. Oscar, smelled it. He knows he's 2 wins away right now from moving on to the finals. Oh, normal summon Minerva. That's an 8-star synchro.
That's interesting. Could be going into Scrap Dragon. What do you think he's aiming for here?
Maybe Scrap Dragon. Let's see, milled 3 with the Minerva's effect. Nope, he's just going to end phase.
Okay, he was really just looking to fill the graveyard.
Alright, no synchro. Said he's just gonna sit on the Adele in defense mode. Yeah. Just trying to figure out how do I stay alive.
Yeah, he needs the key to staying alive is summon Madame Vare and have spells. And summoning Minerva sent the Unveiling to the graveyard, which allowed him to return it to his hand. So he basically turned the summon of Minerva into a spell card. And spells right now are the key to staying alive.
True, yeah. So he just had a normal summon and hope for the best with that Minerva at the end phase. And looks like he might have got there. Going straight to battle phase, going to declare attack on the Adele with the Dragon Spirit of White. He's going to activate the effect, though, to boost.
Should have a Madame Vare to summon with Adele's effect.
Yep. And he'll have that other spell in his grave to keep it alive. He's going to take some damage, though, from this attack over the Minerva.
Oh, he doesn't. He's summoning Jenny instead. Okay. This is actually a desperate play, which I was not expecting. This is just him trying to stay alive.
He doesn't have the other Witchcrafter spell, so he's just trying to stay alive, yeah. Well, let's see what he's going to do. Blue Eyes just dominating the Witchcrafter deck.
Edel's weird because it special summons from the hand, so he didn't have the Madame Vare, so he had to summon Jenny to stay in it. But now he has all of these Witchcrafter effects in his graveyard, which maybe he'll be able to take advantage of. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, depending on what he drew here. If not, Rafael's going to be down 2-0, being 1 loss away from being eliminated from this tournament. Or he's going to...
Witchcrafter Unveiling. He banishes Jenny to banish Witchcrafter Unveiling, copying its effect and allowing him to special summon a Witchcrafter from his hand. So let's see what he has.
Madame Vare? Is in defense mode, maybe? I don't know. Yep, it is Madame Vare. It was the one in his hand. Interesting.
He does have
now he's... So now Oscar has to have a real trap face down in order to deal with this Madame Vare.
The problem is Raphael is also low on cards. He's got 1 card in his hand. He's going to need that to negate the alternative White Dragon's effect on the following turn.
So he needs 1 more.
That was helpful. He banishes... he activates Shmieda's effect by banishing it to send Patronus to the graveyard. That card he could banish during his opponent's turn to return all of his banished Witchcrafter spell cards to his hand. So I lost count of how many he has banished, but it looks like
it's just 2
of them.
But that's the number he needs. He needs 1 for the negate and 1 to boost up.
That's exactly what he needed. He's still vulnerable to a trap card, but that's only if Oscar has it.
Yeah, you'd have to have another copy of Regeki Break. So do you use the alternative effects here to try and force out the negation?
Undoubtedly, that's the play.
Yeah. Alternative's going to try and destroy Madame Vare. Going to negate it, but not destroy it. And it's Divine Wrath once he forced out the effect. Oh man, it is a trap that stops Madame Vare. That's huge.
With Madame Vare off the field, I think this duel is over.
Just 1 white lightning. You have faced such a fearsome beast and lived to tell the tale. And that's it. Oscar takes a 2-0 lead one win away from advancing to the finals of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Remote Duel Duelinks Invitational.
So Mass Change helps play around those trap cards. So
yeah, it just depends. I think the hero deck. I think you're right on your assessment. Like the hero deck wants to go second, but if it goes second, it's going to be facing down all those traps, as you said. So yeah, maybe favored for the elemental saber. But if Oscar can net this win, he will be moving on to the finals. Let's see if Rafael can bounce back here in Game 3.
Oscar got a good start with Palace of the Elemental Lords, which he's going to use to add Molyneux to his hand. Just has to give up next turn's battle phase, but we'll worry about that next turn.
Yeah, that's the problem for future me. That 2 cards to face back row. And pass. So he has a solid open. Got some of those trap cards we were talking about that are going to be huge to stop the heroes from popping up. But Vision Hero Ferris, discarding Malicious is the ideal opener. You're able to get 3 monsters to the field without even using your normal summon if it all goes through.
Ferris's effect activates. Vision Hero Increase is going to enter his spell and trap card zone.
Alright, Increase is equipped. The new Vision Hero cards are so powerful and just they already complement the Mass Change and hero cards that were already in Duel Links. So it's fantastic to see them in action here.
They are powerful. Vision Hero Increase is generally vulnerable to stuff like Cosmic Cyclone, which can banish it after the player tributes a monster, but Raphael doesn't have to worry about that because Palace of the Elemental Lords is on the limited 3 list, so it's unlikely Oscar is using the limited 3 Cosmic Cyclone.
Very true, and it does look like he's going to normal summon the Stratos, uses effect to destroy spell and trap cards equal to the number of face-up heroes he has on the field.
Oh, Floodgate Trap Hole tries to put Stratos face down, but Vision Hero Increase's effect is changed, allowing him to tribute the Stratos that would go face down and special summon a monster, Vision Hero Increase along with a monster from the deck.
Let's see what he decides to summon. Summons Increase, and then he still has the Increase on the field, so it counts as one hero, and it's able to destroy the last remaining spell and trap, which is the field spell. Stratos effect doesn't target, so it checks at the resolution of the effect how many face-up heroes you have. And then he has
awesome.
He has the Vion. Vion's going to come down. This is huge for Rafael. He's trying to win the Game 3 really quickly and get back into this match before it's too late.
Looks to me like this duel is over. He's sending the Celestial to the graveyard and now can use Vion's effect to get a polymerization. Oscar lost all of his defenses, not just his 2 trap cards, but also his Palace that would have been allowed him to use Molyneux's effect on the field by sending an Element Saber from his deck to his graveyard. So this looks like it's over.
Yeah, Oscar's going to need an Element Saber in his hand to use the Muller's effect still, and then top deck maybe an Alistair just to have a chance. I don't know if Alistair would be enough even. We'll have to wait and see.
That would be the way back into the duel if he survives this turn. We'll see about that.
Yeah, step 1, survive.
Yeah.
We see a fusion summon come for Vision Hero Trinity. 31.
Trinity enters the field with double attack points at 5,000, but can't attack directly. A small price to pay when Molyneux's on the field, ready to take the hit.
Yep, and just like that, Rafael's back into this. Zeta up, or down, but back on the scoreboard at least. Down 2-1. Still has to win the next 2 to win this match, but at least he's not getting 3-0'd. He said, you know what? I'm going to play my heroes. I'm going to go second and show you depending on how many trap cards the Blue Eyes player does draw.
Interesting, because I'm thinking a Masked Hero Anki can't get rid of Blue Eyes White Dragon or stronger monsters. That's a key card in the hero deck, and I'm thinking that the heroes have virtually no trap cards to disrupt the Blue Eyes strategy. Blue Eyes decks do have the necessary trap cards. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely coming down to the traps, I think. It's going to make a huge impact. But the hero player, Rafael, is going first. Ferris discarding Malicious, which is the ideal opener.
Ferris's effect
he's gonna just
adds Vision Hero Increase to spell and trap card zone, and then he banishes Malicious from his graveyard to special summon another from his deck.
Yep, you can try to make as big a board as you can to stay alive, and then have a follow-up to still have enough damage to put game on the following turn. The heroes generally don't want to go first.
They do not. Raphael is going to use Increase's effect anyway, even though it's still the first turn of the duel. He's going to Tribute the Malicious, and now he gets to special summon a monster from his deck. Vision Hero Vion is his choice, unsurprisingly, and he will use its effect to kick a hero from his deck to his graveyard.
Yep, and just like that, he has 3 monsters and still has access to his normal summon and access to a polymerization from his deck. Let's see if he just decides to make any bigger board than this, or if this is the board he's going to try and defend with. And then he's dumped the Celestial to his graveyard, so in the following turn he'll be able to draw a couple cards. Since one card is back row.
He probably suspects that Oscar is using a Blue Eyes deck, since his character is the Dark Side Dimension Seto Kaiba, which is most often used with the Ultimate Dragons or Alternative Evolution skill. So against a Blue Eyes deck, a field of 3 monsters in defense mode is probably the best you're going to do as a hero player, because any bigger monster would probably get destroyed by the alternative White Dragon, and the smaller monsters in attack mode would just get picked off one by one.
Yep, I certainly agree, but we see Cards of Consonance coming down. We talked about that like before game 1, I believe. Really solid card, able to discard a Stone of the Ancients, which you'll be able to get its effect during the end phase, and draw 2 fresh cards, hopefully getting to those trap cards that he'll be able to use to disrupt Raphael's turn. Normal Stone of the Ancients probably has a Sage of the Eyes of Blues in his hand.
That would be my guess.
Yep, and he's going to be able to use that Sage to turn the stone into a Blue Eyes, and the stone's going to be able to add a Blue Eyes from his deck to his hand. And he's going to summon the Dragon Spirit of White. Target the back row, maybe force out a mass change prematurely.
If he has it, he will activate it. I do anticipate that's what will happen. But Anki is not going to help him too much.
No, definitely not. The one problem with the hero deck is it is all offense, not a lot of defense. Your only defense is your bodies. And unfortunately, Blue Eyes White Dragon, he'll be able to attack with a Dragon Spirit of White and trigger it off for a Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then attack still with it since his opponent has more monsters than he does. And he gets that Blue Eyes White Dragon to his hand with the stone, with the White Stone.
Raphael, I think, correctly puts Anki in attack position, hoping that maybe Oscar can't summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon to destroy it.
Let's see if he decides to attack. Probably going to go after the Vion instead of the Ferris.
Yeah, I think that would be the better play here.
Yeah, attack Vion, tribute off, summon Blue Eyes. And if his trap card's real, then pretty well set up here. And Oscar already up 2-1. If he manages to win this game, he will be moving on to the finals. From a last-minute addition to the tournament to all the way to the finals would be a huge, huge story.
Oscar, of course, does have the Blue Eyes White Dragon in his hand because he searched for it with the White Stone of Legend.
Yep. And here comes the Blue Eyes White Dragon. You see the Dark Side of Dimension summoning animation? Pretty cool. Blue Eyes White Dragon.
That's awesome.
A big fan of that. Except, he decides to leave the Anki on the field.
That's an interesting choice, since Anki can attack directly at 1400 attack.
Let's see. He's going to summon the Blue Eyes from his deck during the end phase, thanks to the White Stone of the Ancients being sent to the graveyard this turn. And there's another Vision Hero Farce, and it's Divine Wrath, but it's not over yet because Raphael does have that Celestial in his graveyard. So he'll be able to draw 2 cards here.
He's going to have to use that Celestial, and he needs some good top decks, because 2 monsters with 3000 attack are way too powerful for a single Mass Hero.
He just needs 2 Mass Change. 2 copies of Mass Change will win him this duel. Nope,
that would do
14,
it.
20, yeah, 42. Yeah, 2 Mass Change. Nope, that's a monster. Looking rough here for Raphael. You always got to look for the outs. You always got to know what the outs are and hope for the best. But that direct attack is going to put Oscar down to 26.
I'm a little surprised that Oscar allowed the Anki to remain on the field.
Yeah, I mean, it gave him the option to have that. Like, as unlikely it is that he's going to draw 2 mass change, it gave him a chance for victory, which I don't know if I agree with. He's going to go ahead and use the alternative that he summoned this turn with the dual skill to destroy the Anki. Normal summons it. Oh, it is a tuner, so he's going to be able to synchro with that alternative that he already used the effect for.
One of the cool things about Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon is that even though you can't put it in your main deck, you can return it to your hand by banishing the White Stone of Ancients to your graveyard, and then special summon it with its effect by revealing a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Which is huge. Blue Eye Spirit Dragon coming down. Looks like he's just going to, add back that alternative. As you were saying.
Definitely not looking good for Rafael.
Yeah, it's not. Oscar is very close to moving on to the finals here. Direct attack with Blue Eye Spirit. Yeah, I don't
Vision
think
Hero Increase is destroyed in battle.
I don't think there's any cards that Rafael can really draw here to get out of this one.
Let's.
It would have to be that Oscar's back row is nothing, and he somehow finds a way to go into Trinity and attack over all the monsters. But I just don't see that in the cards.
I agree. I don't see it happening. Dragon's Blue Eye Spirit Dragon negates the effect of increase, so it can't go back to the spell and crap card zone upon the damage he took. But I don't think that's going to be relevant at all.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think it would have been relevant there or here. But 2 face down cards. I don't know if that's going to be enough to keep Rafael in this tournament. So in phase, he can use that Spirit Dragon effect to summon the Azure Eyes from his extra deck. Now he cannot target his Blue Eyes White Dragon with anything, and it should easily finish this duel up. Regeki breaks the new one.
And then Azure Eyes Silver Dragon in the standby phase is going to be able to special summon Dragon Spirit of White to banish the last back row. So it's a complete devastation of his field.
Dude, I told you, I've been talking about it all day. I'm not crazy. Blue Eyes, man. Here they are. They won 2 out of the 3 games of the semifinal to move all the way to the finals. They just have a solid matchup versus all the decks right now, I believe. Like a decent, solid. As long as you have all the trap cards to deal with Madame, I think the Blue Eyes have a decent matchup against almost the entire field.
Yeah, the Blue Eyes deck has a lot of good cards at its disposal, and they cover a wide array of effects. I agree with you.
Yeah, and just like that, Oscar is moving on to the finals, taking down one of the people we were watching, one of the fan favorites. I thought he was going to do well. He did do well, made that top.